Good afternoon. Welcome to Valley Vision. I'm Abby Alonzo, Joe Mitchell. We're a little bit late today. We normally go live at 12:30, but we made some adjustments because we have a super cool guest on the Purple Couch. You'll get to talk to him later, but first we're going to go through all the sports news we've got. I mean, this show is packed today, so bear with me. Hang on, because like I said, we're going to have a really cool interview in just a few minutes. I said it earlier this week. I'll say it again. We're having a tailgate tomorrow in Touchdown Village. Big purple bus. You can't miss it. Flip cup, beer pong. We're roasting an entire gator. Come out there. Of course, Joe and I will be filming the vlog. It's going to be a little bit different. Normally, we walk around campus, hear from you guys, but you have to come to us this time. So come see us, get in the vlog. Actually, speaking of vlogs, I'm going to say it now. Grace Kelly, Brian Kelly's daughter, will be co-hosting next weekend's vlog with us. She'll be on Valley Vision on Thursday, and then we're going to do a day in the life of Grace Kelly on game day kind of vlog next weekend. So we're building something big, and I tell y'all this every week. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you're keeping up with our content because we got important people starting to get involved. One of them is on our couch. We'll talk to him in a minute. We released a new segment, and I'm going to roll through this fast because I'm really excited. We released a new segment called Smack Talk, courtesy of Joe. He came up with the name of it. We're hitting Free Speech Alley every Wednesday to get your hot takes about the game the previous weekend. If you want to shit talk the game coming up for the next weekend, we're going to hear all of it in Free Speech Alley. Again, we are here for y'all. We want y'all included in the content. We don't want to talk at y'all. We want to talk with y'all. So make sure that you're seeking us out. Get involved. Come be a part of the content. Like I said, expanding. Oh my God, Joe, I'm like listing everything off at this point. Like I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute. Monday, men's basketball guard Jordan Wright and I will be sitting down to do a little bit of an in-depth interview, get to know who he is off the court, and then in true Abby Alonzo fashion, I have challenged him to a free throw challenge. So I will be spending my hungover Sunday shooting free throws so that I don't embarrass myself on camera with Jordan Wright on Monday. Speaking of men's basketball, they do play tonight. Anthony and I will be at that game. We went to the women's basketball game last night. They got their rings. Something really cool about their rings, they have 102 stones. And I mean, y'all, these things are huge. If you go look at our social media, we have a little reel. You can see the ring. 102 stones for the 102 points they scored in the Natty. Freaking sick. I got to talk to Kramer Robertson last night, Kim Mulkey's son, for those who don't know, just about his mom and her legacy and what she's done for women's sports and winning her fourth national championship ring. Getting that last night. Alexis Morris was back. Again, the content is on social media. Go check that out. Volleyball will play tonight against number 21 Florida, and they'll play South Carolina on Sunday. And I think that's about it. Man, dude, I just rolled through that. I'm pumped. We're going to preview the football game. We always do that, but you have to wait for that because we've been trying to do this for a while. So, without further ado, I'm going to let our guest introduce himself. A little bit of a different show today, but go ahead. Floor is yours. Let everybody know who you are. Come on.
Well, thank you, Abby. I'm Michael Anderson. I'm the owner and creative director at Boot Up Customs. I like to call myself Louisiana's king of custom sneakers and cleats. Yeah. So we've had a lot of cool LSU projects and had something really cool this weekend for the football team.
I know you did. Before we get into that, tell everyone, or you know what, where did this idea come from? Where did it, when did it start? What gave you the inspiration to kind of, this is the route you wanted to take?
So my grandmother was an artist, and I would paint with her over the summers. And I took art class in high school, was always doing art, but I never really saw it as a path that I could do as a career. And then that changed a little bit whenever my good buddy Jacob Zumo, I saw some art he was doing. And I wanted to buy some of his art, but I couldn't afford it because I was 18 at the time and didn't have any money. So I decided I was going to do it myself, and I got back into painting. And then, I'm I grew up a diehard LSU fan. I went to every LSU football game since I was 9 months old until I moved out of state. So for 25 years, I went to every single game.
9 months?
Yep, I was going as a little baby.
They were bringing you out there like
yeah.
On.
My dad's a diehard fan too, so.
Shit, runs in the family.
And so I always wanted to be close to the program, and through the cleats and the sneakers, I found a way to do that. And the first project I did was a tribute to Wade Sims with my guy Skylar Mays. So then with that, I realized that not only can I do art and work with the athletic program, but also I can make a difference in the community too.
Look at his answers are on point. That was a great answer. So you mentioned the project you did this weekend. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, what it looked like, the meaning behind it, who it was for?
Yeah, so we did some cleats for this weekend's game against Florida with Jayden Daniels, Brian Thomas, and Malik Nabers. So like the big three guys in the offense.
The core of the offense. Wow.
And that was really special. And actually, it really started in when I had talked to Greg Brooks about doing some cleats. And we had been DMing back and forth, and we had plans. I was coming in town for the Arkansas game, and I was going to pick up cleats on the Thursday before the game. Well, right about that time is when the news came out about his cancer diagnosis. Yeah. So obviously we weren't going to do that project anymore. So then I reached out to Jayden and said, hey, man, I was going to do these cleats with Greg. Let's do something as a tribute to him to honor him. So, yeah, it was really special.
So we're lucky enough that he sent us pictures of these cleats. Joe, you want to pop those up? Can you describe the and as they're on the screen, can you just kind of talk about the design and why things are placed in certain areas?
Yeah. So Jayden, when I was talking to him, he said he was very superstitious this year about what he's wearing.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't sure if he wanted to change his cleats. And so he's all year has been wearing purple cleats with a gold Nike check. So I wanted to do something very similar to that, but then make it like designer, make it custom. So these are based off of the off-white Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
And then, like the quote that it has is fight like 3, right, to honor Greg. And then it has boot up for JD5, Greg Brooks Jr. in quotes. And then Greg was born in Harvey, Louisiana.
West Bank, baby. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm from there.
And then his birth year was 2001, so I got to get those details.
Wow.
And actually, so the whole point behind Boot Up Customs, the thing I try to explain to the guys is when you wear these custom cleats or these custom sneakers, I want you to remember to stay present, right? I want you to be where your feet are. And so with Boot Up Customs, I say it's 10 toes down and boot up, right?
Yeah.
And so the cleats were almost done, and I was like, man, there's something missing. So on the toe of each of the cleats for Jayden, I put the number 3 that's on the helmet, and it's on the field. And so that every time Jayden looks down at his feet, he remembers who he's playing for.
Wow. That is incredibly intentional. And, I mean, if you're talking about wanting to make a difference and doing that through art, I think these cleats are a perfect example, and you are absolutely doing that. These cleats are insane, seriously.
Well, and that's the reason that I'm so excited to be talking to you about this, because people don't know that, right? I can't explain that the same way unless we sit down and talk about it. But it's just it was a very special thing to do with Jayden, and now there's a bond formed from that.
Yeah.
And I always tell these guys, like, I'm not in the cleat business. I'm in the relationship business. I don't want to do 500 cleats a year.
Right.
I want to pick special, intimate projects and build relationships and do stuff that's bigger than just custom cleats.
Purpose and meaning. Yeah, you nailed that. What was his reaction when he saw him?
Yeah, it was awesome. He's a little reserved, but we actually sat down and did like an interview with him as well and talked about some of this. But we poked the bear a little bit and got him out of his shell. But man, he's all the stories you hear, the reports that come out, is that he is just locked in, laser focused. He texted me on the dot at 5:30 yesterday morning.
And I'm going to add to this, that lines up with exactly what Brian Kelly said in a presser 2 weeks ago, that they had to start keeping the facility open later for him because he'd be there before the sun was up, and he was staying until damn near 10 p.m.
Yeah, so he texted me at 5:30 saying, yep, we're good for the time. And then he was at the facility all day. They finished practice at 5 o'clock. Then he went home to shower and come across town to Jacob Zumo's gallery for 6:30. So he'd been up for 12 hours already, you know, but he was awesome. It was really great.
And I know Jayden's not the only one you did cleats for. So you did them for Malik as well.
Yeah.
How did that go? What was that process like, you know, or not even just for Malik's cleats, but how do you come up with the inspiration and individual designs for each of these players? And you nail it every time. I mean, social media agrees there, but like, where does that creativity come from?
So, you know, you don't always get to pick and choose when you feel creative, but
Yeah.
when that does come to me and I do feel inspiration, I pretty much stop what I'm doing and I'll go write or I'll go sketch stuff out and kind of just like let it flow. But for these projects specifically, it's funny. All three guys, when I texted them asking them what they wanted, all three of them, do your thing. Which it's funny because that is literally, it's every artist's dream, right? I want to make art that I want to make and I want people to buy it.
Right.
But with custom cleats, they're usually custom to a player. So a lot of times they'll give me, you know, info on what they want specifically.
Yeah.
But I knew what I wanted to do for Jayden's because he had said he was superstitious and whatever else. So I wanted to stay on brand with like the designer cleat, basically. So for Brian Thomas, we did a Louis Vuitton cleat, and then actually it was exciting because I'm changing a little bit from just painting, and now I'm actually stitching other leather pieces onto the shoes, which is really cool. I did shoe surgeon school out in Los Angeles and learned how to do that.
Wow.
So I did kind of like the OBJ cleats.
Yeah.
I did BTJ and then the number 11. And then for Malik, this is like kind of crazy. So there's a brand called Chrome Hearts that I'm a big fan of, and their logo is a cross. And it's probably my favorite pair that I've ever done.
I was going to ask you. Wow, really?
Yeah, well, I think a little bit just because it signifies to me like my evolution because there's not a ton of paint on it. I painted the whole thing purple and then I stitched these gold crosses on it. So it's just, you know, me growing as an artist. But Malik walks in the gallery and the first thing I noticed on his wrist is he's got a Chrome Hearts diamond bracelet.
I mean,
so I'm like, oh, he's about to lose his mind.
Yeah, that's a sign.
And I think the first thing he said was like, oh man, I didn't know it was going to be like this. You know, so I think he was blown away. So
I think that's a compliment.
Yeah.
I think that's a compliment. Okay, so you said that that's probably your favorite pair of cleats you've ever done. What's your dream project?
Okay, and to be fair, I say it all the time. Like every time I do.
I know. Every time you do a pair of cleats, it's your favorite.
No, but that one is definitely special.
I mean, the stitching. Is that the first time you've stitched?
So yeah. So well, for his and for Brian's.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
The dream project.
Like
I mean,
ideally, like you can do anything with anyone. What are you doing?
So obviously, like Joe Burrow, and you know it's funny because I was doing cleats a little bit in 2019. I did some cleats for Jamar Chase, and actually I saw Jamar in Austin recently. He trains at the gym that I work out at in the off season. It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when at this point. But you know, my plan is like I said, Louisiana's king of customs. Like there wasn't an LSU guy doing it before. And how does LSU football stay like good? They build a fence around Louisiana. Well, I'm gonna do the same thing with the LSU athletes, with Patrick Queen, with all these guys, and just get to the point where like he doesn't have a choice, you know.
Sheesh, you told me you're relentless. I believe you. How do you get in contact with these athletes?
So it's probably, I mean, it's mostly social media.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky. Like, I've had guys like Skylar Mays, you know, that have like promoted what I'm doing. Dylan Cruz. I mean, Dylan Cruz is just, it's unbelievable.
Yep.
But Dylan collab posted with me on Instagram multiple times. So I have a pretty decent track record.
Yeah.
I mean, this year, just the LSU projects, I'll like run through a couple. So we did Dylan Cruz, Tommy White, Tre Morgan, Paul Skenes, Livvy Dunne, Malik Nabers, Brian Thomas, Jayden Daniels. I got stuff coming up with Kim Mulkey, Angel. So like we're getting everybody.
Yeah, you've hit all the big names on campus right now and off campus.
Yeah, and it's special because like LSU football was everything to me as a kid, you know? So this is all, the reason it works is because it's all so genuine.
Yeah.
Right? It's me following the things that I love to do. Like you just can't fake it.
Yep.
Right? And if you asked me what's different about me and all the other sneaker artists, there are guys that currently paint better than me. Now, I would say my ideas are here. Mm-hmm. When I first started painting, I was here. Now my skill level's here. I'm just continuing to work. Once I match my skill level with my ideas, it's over with. But what's different about me and everybody else is I've been an LSU fan for 30 years. Die hard. Like, you can't recreate that.
Right. And look, y'all, I'm going to loud cap him real quick. We were in Omaha together for the Natty for baseball. How freaking cool was it to see those guys? Because were some of them wearing the cleats? Yeah. And you were there. You watched them win a national championship in your custom cleats. Like, what did that mean to you?
I mean, yeah, everything. Yeah, for sure. It's so special. And that's one of those things where, like I said earlier, when they wear the shoes, I want them to be present and be in the moment and embrace the journey, not worry about the destination, just focus on what you can control. And that's something that I have to do too, right? So in those moments when Tre Morgan makes that toss to home plate and gets the guy out and he's wearing my cleats, like, that's a pinch me thing for sure. And it's just like embracing it and being in those moments specifically.
How do you get to that mindset though? Because it's a great mantra, but it's not easy to be present all the time. How do you stay grounded?
So, really just like knowing that it's all about my activity level, right? So the only difference between somebody that makes it and somebody that doesn't is one of them quit. And so if I just keep going, like, at some point it's just gonna blow up. It just has to, because like the work is good enough. Now it's about like marketing and doing those other things. But I'm not gonna like sit here and pretend like I haven't thought about quitting and all that other stuff. Like, I go through it just like everybody else, right? And I think I want to be somebody that through those things doesn't quit. And I want to show other people what happens if you don't and you keep working. Because like, think, when I first did the pair of shoes for Skylar, people were like even like people close to me, it's like, yeah, that's cool, but like, what can you really do with it? And I was literally the only person in the entire world that thought I could do something with it. You know, and so I'm just gonna like keep going, and then it'll work.
I mean, look where you are now compared to back then. It's incredible to see the growth. And I know you kind of I started to see a lot of it during baseball season because those guys just completely invested in you and your vision. And I think you're growing, and the fact that you've got the core of the LSU offense right now about to wear your cleats is incredible. Who would you say is your biggest influence or motivation?
Yeah, so I would say, like, artist-wise, Kid Super. That's actually like the fit that I'm wearing today. I got the Louis bag over there, you know. But these are guys from Brooklyn who I've been in contact with for years, and I found them through Russ, who's a rapper that I'm a huge fan of. He wrote his debut album in their basement.
Wow.
And they started selling T-shirts at their high school in Brooklyn. And then this past year, Colin, the main guy, got tapped to be the head designer for Louis Vuitton's men line. He did their Paris Fashion Week show. This is not fashion royalty. This is like regular dudes that just lived out their dream and are doing it. So that's a big one. Obviously, Jacob Zumo. A lot of music stuff gets me through it. But I would just say, like, I'm inspired by like the stuff we're doing today. Like when Mikey and Jared and Anthony and all these guys are here, I've wanted to be a part of this for so long. Yeah. And it's like, it's so cool to me that I'm inspired by the fact that I get to represent LSU. I get to represent Louisiana. I get to put on for my family and for my state. Yeah, so that's what gets me.
You're doing a hell of a job. You're doing a hell of a job. Where do you want to be in 5 years? And I know that is a tough question to answer because God only knows where we're going to be in 5 years and how this could take off for you. But if you could design it, where would you be in 5 years?
So the next big thing that I'm doing, like I said, I don't want to do 500 pairs of cleats a year. That would drive me insane. And people think like when I'm painting, I'm like Bob Ross. I'm like, no, it's the hardest, most stressful thing that I do. Yeah. Like on a day-to-day basis. It's excruciating, and it takes a toll on me, like both mentally and like emotionally. Like it's tough, you know. But the the reason that a big reason that I'm doing the cleats and trying to build my brand right now is I have a clothing line that I'm putting out under the same line of Boot Up Customs.
Okay.
Where that stuff I don't have to touch every piece.
Right.
And then people ask me all the time, like, hey, how can I support you? I love what you're doing. Can you do some Air Force Ones for my girlfriend? And it's like, I don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
But now, all right, you guys want to support it, I have a way for it, and it's going to be really fire. So
That's awesome. And I'll round out with this. If you could tell anybody who might be in a similar situation where they have a vision and not everybody believes in it, they might be the only one that believes in it, and they're at the ground stages trying to create something, what would you tell them?
Yeah, so the things that are hard when you're doing that, like the feelings of self-doubt and like the hard times and like other people aren't believing it, like that stuff does not go away. Mm-hmm. Like it never goes away. And I touched on this earlier. Like I'm not going to pretend like there wasn't a period of time last week when I'm working on the cleats where I'm like, I'm quitting, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just like fleeting and temporary. Like I'm not stopping this. You could not make me stop this, right? So I would say that it's, I heard a quote recently that I resonated with more than anything I've heard like this past year. And I'm gonna try to get it right. But it's that you don't build confidence by shouting affirmations in the mirror. You build confidence by building an undeniable stack of proof that you are who you say you are. Mm-hmm. So what I did in that situation is I'm filling my cookie jar, right? Mm. So every day I paint. Every day I'm trying to go to the gym. Every day I'm networking. Every day I'm doing these little things because all the time I have self-doubt and imposter syndrome and you know, you try to compare yourself to other people and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't go away. But what happens if you fill that cookie jar and if you do what you're supposed to and you're doing something that you love, when those things do come to you, you can look over and be like, oh no, I got this. Mm-hmm. Because look what I've been doing. Like that's proof of it. I'm not just talking about it. So I would just say it's just like about keep going. And if it's something you believe in, then just do it, you know?
You know, that answer couldn't have been more perfect. I think we can relate to that. We're a new media company. We're a new LSU sports show in a market that is so saturated, but we have a vision and it's very different. And not a lot of people believe in it right now, but you keep hammering and you do the work and you put in the hours and you stack up the proof. And so I respect the hell out of you for saying that. And I think it proves to be true. Just to see your journey and how much, how many projects you've done and where you started to where you are now. I think the proof is in the pudding, and you just said that. Yeah,
and I'll close with this. Like, I've found my purpose, mm-hmm. and it's not just about painting the cleats and doing art with LSU, but like doing that and also making a difference and also representing the people that I care about.
Yeah.
But this will be the last thing. Abby Alonzo is a star in the making, so like, I'm just letting y'all know. What did Dabo say the other day? Like, buy the stock now. So I believe in you guys as much as I believe in myself.
Can't hype me up right now. Look, you know what though? These are the type of people you hang out with. The people that get it. You get it. And we're in a similar situation, but no doubt, if you are a very good example of what hard work and perseverance and relentlessness looks like, and I commend you. And you are gonna do very good things. You already are, but I'm even bigger and better. That was awesome. I feel like you're our first like interview on the show, so you should feel kind of special.
Oh, I do, for sure.
I'm just saying. I mean, like you made it to the show before Jordan Wright made it to the show, and Grace Kelly. So.
Well, yeah. So, and that's the thing. We're gonna look back on this in 5-10 years.
I look forward to the day that you've done your project with Joe Burrow, and we've expanded to a couple different locations, and we can sit down and look back at this interview and talk about how far we've come. I appreciate you for being here. I know you're busy. You're a busy man, freaking painting cleats and meeting athletes and tailgating and all kinds of stuff. We better see you tomorrow at the tailgate.
Yeah, for sure. And
we got to get him in the vlog.
For the people watching, we're going to be putting out videos of all the projects.
I was going to say, where can people find you? How can they support what's up?
So get.like.mike on Instagram. I also have Boot Up Customs. It's kind of under construction right now. I got to update some of that stuff, you know, managing multiple social media pages.
Yeah,
know?
We get it. Oh, we get it.
And then I've got bootupcustoms.com. Looks like in early January we're going to be doing the first drop of the I don't want to call it merch because it's more fashion, but the first drop for the clothing stuff, so that'll be out too.
January, you said?
Yep.
Wow.
And boot up.
Boot up, baby. All right, we're going to switch over to the football preview that we always do. You feel free to weigh in. Again, you're an LSU football fan, so we can go at it right now. Coming off the loss to Bama, hopes of an SEC championship out the window, facing Florida this week. Should be a win for the Tigers. However, we have shit luck. Got bit by the injury bug. Jayden Daniels is probable, but there's no telling how that plays out on Saturday. He gets another hard hit. They're going to have to pull him for concussion protocol. Zy Alexander's out. We don't know why, because BK likes to keep stuff under the radar. And Logan Diggs, found out, is doubtful. And that is a key. Him and Jayden Daniels are huge keys. Zy, we figured, wouldn't be playing, but losing your weapon on the ground, as well as having a quarterback that was in concussion protocol week, had, a targeting hit that wasn't called targeting. I'm still not over it. We might have some red flags here, Joe. I'm going to let you preview it a little bit and explain why I say that.
Yeah, well, despite all of that, LSU is still a 14.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
And the total for this one's 66.5. So high-scoring affair is what it's projected to be. You made the point that both Jayden and Logan Diggs is doubtful. Jayden's probable, but we don't know what that means considering he was injured. That being the case, the best plan of attack for LSU is running the ball, and that makes it tricky.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's an opportunity for Florida to capitalize, because if your quarterback, who is so versatile and able to use his feet, he's playing, but again, you don't know to what status he's going to be, and you're losing RB1, you could run into some issues. Now, Florida's mid. They're mid. Our offense is number 1 in the country. So the matchup between the offense and the defense should not be something of, you shouldn't be alarmed by that. It's just a matter of, is LSU going to give Florida the opportunity to capitalize because they're missing they're missing a key guy and their quarterback's probable? Is that something Florida can do?
Can Florida?
Can they do it? Yes. Do you see this team doing it? You knew what I meant.
Well, no. I mean, there's the reason I asked like that is because there's certainly a way that Florida hangs around and potentially pulls the upset. No, I'm not predicting that, but there's absolutely an opportunity. The biggest disparity between LSU's offense and Florida's defense is actually in the running attack for LSU on offense. LSU's got the eighth rushing offense in the country. Florida's got the 60th rushing defense in the country, and the gap, even though LSU is better at throwing the ball than they are running, is actually not quite as wide when it comes to Florida's pass defense, which is scary.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm drained. My brain is fried today. So, Joe, a lot of that just went in one ear and out the other, and I'm so sorry. But we're real here. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I zoned out completely. I'm so sorry. I heard a lot of what you said, though. I want to switch over to the defense, though. The LSU offense has got to stop being doubted. I know coming off that loss in Bama, they didn't look as good as they have all season, but this offense is still legit. You still have a lot of talent on this roster, a lot of guys leading the nation in stats. We can't undermine that. Yeah. You're not going to have a perfect game every game. For sure. Especially when you're playing Alabama, period. I'm not worried about the offense, I don't think. There are little holes that Florida could hit and might, use to stop the offense or slow them down a little bit. I'm more concerned about the defense.
Yeah.
Shocker. Who isn't concerned about the defense? I don't even think concerned is the right word anymore. I just, if there's going to be a downfall, it's probably going to be the defense. But again, Florida's mid. Is this a week where we see a repeat of last week where just everything's going wrong, nobody's playing where they should be playing, or is this a week we've made the adjustments that we talked about on Monday and we come out and we put up a good fight against a very average offense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think this is I do think you see a difference because Graham Mertz doesn't run the ball as much or nearly as effectively as Jalen Milroe. So that's not something we have to worry about this week. To me, the biggest two keys are third down defense. Florida's 99th in the country on third down offense. They convert 36% of the time. But red zone offense, Florida's they convert or they score when they get in the red zone 97% of the time. So you have to be really good on third down and not let them get inside the 20. That's the two biggest keys on defense. I don't expect to see a perfect game. I don't even really expect to see a great game defensively. But if there's two things to watch, it's that.
All right, this has been going on for a while. Give me your score prediction. You have to look, he's been sitting on the couch. Do you want to weigh in? You got any thoughts on the game this weekend?
I think Malik's going to do some touchdown celebrations in my cleats.
Wait, I heard y'all were practicing touchdown celebrations.
Oh, yeah, we were for
Yeah,
sure.
is that going to be posted anywhere?
Yeah, and I want to go back and watch the video. I mean, I can dance for sure. Now, I don't know about as much on the spot with Malik, but, like, I can dance. Okay?
I mean, that's a bold statement considering you're about to post videos of you dancing for the whole internet to see. So are you doubling down? Like you
Yeah, 100%. And look,
Y'all heard it.
if the touchdown celebrations aren't that good because it was a spot in the moment, I'll do another dance and show everybody that I can dance.
If you get on TikTok and start dancing, dude, we're going to have an issue. We're going to have a long talk about where we are in life.
I'm not going to do that.
No. Good. I hope to see. I hope the offense goes off. And are they going to be wearing the cleats this tomorrow?
Yeah.
Sick.
So I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'll go 48-20.
LSU.
Yeah.
Not
Tigers.
bad. It's not bad. Clearly the over. I'm just gonna take the over every week. It's sure money at this point.
Yeah, it's safe.
Safe. Yeah. No bet's ever safe. We've learned that. I've learned that the hard way. But I am gonna take the over. I don't give score predictions. LSU wins. Joe, score prediction.
I'm going to go 41-24. Tigers.
41-24. Y'all are right near each other. We're getting in the 40s this week? Y'all both think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Again, very mid
Well,
defense.
that's obviously assuming that Jayden plays the whole game.
I think and I know I probably scared a lot of people talking about Jayden's status or his health concerns. The kid's tough. You've talked to him. We've heard from him. All you hear, as you said at the beginning of the show, is how locked in and how much of a hustler and hard worker and tough the kid is. He's going to play the game. Like I said, the only reason I can see him coming out is if they make him come out for a concern of a head injury. Like if there's a hard hit, they're going to have to pull him because he was in protocol. I don't see him coming out any other way. I think he's going to play. And I think this is a week that they bounce back from Bama and they go off, especially with him. Now the Heisman odds dropped, but still in the conversation, rightfully so.
Yeah, my only football take for the show will be that the Heisman Award needs to change to different terms and be a popularity contest if he doesn't win the award, because there's no way that Penix or the Michigan kid are better than Jayden Daniels. Not close.
We've had this conversation on this show, and Joe has a really good feels the same way as you. It's the meaning of the Heisman versus how it is awarded don't line up.
Well, and it's kind of the same thing with Blitnikoff at this point, too. I mean, Harrison's going to get it because he just has all this hype. Imagine Malik Nabers having 2 catches for 27 yards against Rutgers or whoever they play.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
I think we're all on the same page here. I completely agree. And
the verbiage is literally most outstanding player in college football.
Right.
Like,
I think
that's clear.
I don't know how you don't. I do know how you give it to the best player on the best team, but that's not what the award is. We'll say it again. Figure it out. Give the award to the person who deserves it. Jayden Daniels should be in New York on December 9th. Just going to say that. Okay. Score predictions. Say them again. You had 48-20.
I think I had 48-20.
You had 41-24.
Yep.
Okay. So the boys think we're getting in the 40s and holding Florida below 30. What was the total?
66.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm hammering that.
I think Sunbelt Billy's getting run out of town, so.
Oh, I forgot about that storyline. All right, you want to leave anybody with anything before you head out?
Yeah, I would just say to check out the cleats that we're putting out on Instagram, and to Joe Burrow and Patrick Queen, all these guys, let's boot up, baby.
They're going to see this one day. Boot up, baby. We appreciate y'all. We will see y'all tomorrow at our tailgate. Also, before we go, I'm going to plug this vodka because this vodka, I'm not a big vodka drinker. Jeez. 7-3 Distilling in New Orleans has created a vodka that doesn't burn. And it's called St. Roche. And they so kindly gave us a bunch of bottles that we will be taste testing at the tailgate. If you're a vodka drinker, toss the Tito's. Come try this because you are never going to go back, ever. I'm not paid to say that. Again, I don't like vodka that much. If it's mixed with something, maybe straight. I had it straight on ice yesterday. No burn. Check them out. They are the official vodka of Bayou Traditions. So I want to say there's a percentage of every bottle of St. Roche vodka that is bought goes to the athletes, not the organization, directly into NIL and to the athletes. So if you want to support the guys or girls, any athletes at LSU, go buy the vodka. We will have it out there tomorrow at the tailgate. Thank you again for being here. We appreciate you. Joe, I appreciate you. I'm sorry for blacking out during your analysis. I don't know what's going on today. It's rainy outside. I need some sleep. But we appreciate y'all. I'll be back and ready to go for tomorrow at the tailgate. Make sure to swing by. We will see y'all soon.